Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me once again. Today we're looking at War of Rights. This is a technical alpha. Literally today I received my email to download this game on Steam and join a game. So keep in mind this is again a technical alpha, and we're looking, I think it's at a drill camp. It is very basic. It looks beautiful, but I'm just going to show you around the world of what I got to see today. Today we did pick the Union drill camp. Yes, you can do Union Confederate. Just a little bit, the War of Rights multiplayer game, it was successfully funded on Kickstarter. It is set during the time of the American Civil War, and what they say is they describe a Maryland campaign of September 1862, and they're trying to recreate this, basically. And they actually are trying to make it pretty historically accurate, and it uses CryEngine. So here we go. Looking here, we're picking out a private at first. Here are your controls. It took me a little bit of time to get used to this, but really straightforward. Obviously, the main keys at this stage, aim and fire. And then also there's a tactical part which gets to, at this stage at least, shows you where the shooting range and some other stuff is located. There were several people that joined the game, logged in when I did as well. So again, I'm assuming everyone is downloading their game after receiving their email for backers, and it's a beautiful game. And when they talk about recreating historical accuracy, you can see me right here. I fired my weapon. Now I have to reload. And I actually have to do that by pressing the R button on the keyboard, but you really are reloading. You do not get any sort of auto fire in this game, which, hey, you're playing a Civil War game. I say all for it. I'm really curious to see how that comes into play when there are large-scale battles. One of the things here I'll show you as well, you have a bayonet. There you go, attach it. And you can actually, instead of shooting, you can stab at people. And later on, you'll see one of the other, I guess you would call it a class, I guess, just simply has a sword. The reason I'm mentioning this is I'm very curious when you're lined up fighting against people, the time it takes to reload, who commands a charge. Just run on in with your bayonets and stab everyone before they have a chance to reload. Interesting strategy, if you ask me, and I'm sure something that will come into play once the game is actually released and we have a lot of people in playing. But you can see this was sort of a spawning area, so as I'm sitting here, more and more people are joining. What I had pressed down there is the T key on the keyboard. T key. Tactical is what it's listed under the screen, and it's showing me time, direction, and then also you'll notice in the distance it had a target, and that's actually what I was running towards. There's also another one with swords crossed. That's where you can go with the actual swords, but I do that later. I couldn't figure that. Well, not that I couldn't figure it out. There just was not much to do. The scenery is absolutely gorgeous at this point. Running through here, I can just imagine one day these little camps out here being populated by something. And I tried to kill that squirrel. Didn't really work. I'm assuming that's because you can't, but hey, why not try? And then have to reload. But back to what I was saying, there is the scenery is actually really cool. You can sneak up, behind trees and some other things. I can just imagine other players or whatever they have in the future, and actually trying to the movie, what's it called, The Patriot, where you actually form a roving band of people who like to play more guerrilla warfare. That would be interesting. But anyways, I stumbled across this actually as I was walking through on my own too. It's a creek here that actually, again, the world looks beautiful. The flow of the water, all of the reeds around. It's a pretty neat looking game. And actually, as I was running through here, I was following the direction of the target when I pressed the tactical button. And I do eventually find it here. I'm running up on it here. And basically, it's target practice. There's not a lot more to it. Now, the targeting is actually interesting. You hold down the right key of the mouse, right button, and it lets you, do some targeting, and then the left mouse key fires. You do have a little bit of wobble, so it's targeting is interesting, and I'll be curious to see how that works when you're actually fighting against other people. But again, here we go with reloading, maintaining the historical accuracy. So what they plan to do is actually make multiple campaigns, or multiple battlefields, so you aren't going to be stuck to just one area. But it's a lot of brilliant ideas for this game, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. And again, War of Rights is the name, and again, this is a technical alpha. If you couldn't tell from the wording, technical alpha up on the screen. And here I go aiming again a little bit, and I think actually this target. This time I'm getting the hang of it more. As you settle in, it stops swaying as much, but obviously that means you have to sit longer. And there's one pretty well dead in the center. So here are the other groups, and I think the next one I actually put on here is the officer. And this guy basically has his sword, and at this stage that's about it. Not a lot to do, can't really kill anything. I do track down the target practice for swords and kind of bang around on them a little bit. There's not a lot to it at this stage. You can see the smoke in the distance. That's actually someone that just fired their gun. So you can pretty well see where the shots are coming from. And actually, as I was running through here, I kept hearing shot after shot, and I'm not sure where it was coming from. But here's some of the target practice. Not a whole lot to it, but again, technical alpha. So just getting the players in, looking at some of the mechanics, and I'm actually pretty pleased right now. There wasn't a lot of weird bug stuff going on. There's not a whole lot to do, but from what there is available, there wasn't a whole lot that I could find problematic. You do one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit. Now here's the flag bearer. I couldn't figure out what in the hell to do with this guy. He can kind of wave his flag around. That's about it. You can actually run using the shift key as per most games. The camera is very wobbly. I'm sure that's on purpose. It just takes some getting used to. But again, War of Rights is the name of the game, and technical alpha right now. And thanks for watching. And I will post our website so you can join me. Peace out, folks.